They're like, no, no, nope, don't want none of that. You can have this battle. You guys can have this game. Smite and Larson want to just continue to play this round out, even though they're at a huge disadvantage. There goes the Siphon. You saw the shield coming out of nowhere there. Off the Zenki. So down body very late, but does eventually get finished off as it seems like that team gets completely wrapped up by Pamstone and Fat. So what a game for Smite and Larson. What a game for Pam and Fatch to land at Greasy Grove. Forced out of there early. They didn't want to take that fight against the two other duos. Like we said, it was just way too much, a little too populated for the time being.
This is that fight we've seen at Condo happen many times. Zuck and Freeze trying to close this out for the third time in a row. Getting in the box though. Zuck goes down. Now it's up to Freeze. He grabs the top here, has the piece control, but he's the one missing the shots. And that auto shotgun not gonna be able to do enough damage. He's the one on the back foot backing out of this fight. And HD, these guys want revenge. They don't want to just let this guy walk away. This is personal now.
Yeah, surely. And not only that, you know, he doesn't have any builds down low. Like Freeze doesn't have anything really. That was it. That's wrap. So runs out of material, runs out of resource. All of a sudden they get finished off. A little dance. A little dance on the body there before he gets sent back in full to the lobby. Now the one issue with that though that I have is he took that left camera peek. You know, sticking to the fundamentals is gonna be the best way for you to take any battle. The moment you stop doing that, it's wraps.
Yep, and we do see another player coming in. Looks like Zone is gonna pull over to Condo. So if I'm these guys, I would have preferred not to get Zone because then you can loot it. And we're using a launch pad way too early here, but he was separated and needed to get back to his teammate.
And the truth is, they haven't really won any early game fights. This is the first one, so grasping at straws here. Flo and Nazin, though, on the other side, you know, doing a lot better here. Top 16. Saw the elims go down. You've probably been watching the feed for quite some time, so I'm thinking they have a good grip on what's happening here.
Yeah, I would imagine that whether or not they knew who won this fight, they knew that this fight's been happening every single match, and they're just gonna wait and walk into this, and they got winner. They got next, and for whoever wins that fight over a Condo, there's not really a great position to be in. They're just taking piece by piece, closing them in, and eliminating any space. Nazin gets some big shots there, and following up more. Nazin, Flo, been putting the pressure on. I don't think HD and Co really have much left to them. They're just gonna try and get whatever's left. But HD getting back to his teammate, at least they're gonna go down together if they do.
This is game 4. There's only 5 games today. Getting taken out now can just be the momentum killer for you, right? It can really offset you. Fortnite, as much as it is a mechanical game and, you know, about games and stuff, you know, it's emotional being a competitive player as well. You really got to keep your mental balance in check here. So rounding things out, HD and crew may have had finally a small taste of success in this early game, but they're gone. They're out now, full reset, and it happened very, very early, so they didn't really get to play this tournament out.
Unfortunately, now another third party coming in, the SMG only squad, trying to represent. Everyone wants to get involved, and you know, Monster, occasionally this happens. You start having these long, drawn-out engagements. People start hearing the shots coming through, and if it lasts long enough, another team, and then another team, and then another team just keep jumping in on this fight.
Well, that's the thing, right? No 2 Fortnite games are ever the same, and the zone has a big part in why that is, right? This zone finally lands on the Condo Canyon, and it's like a blessing and a curse. Honestly, it's usually against your favor if the zone's right on top of you, right? Like you mentioned, more often than not, you want to loot your area, have a reason to move, so other people want to rotate, and then you can have a better understanding, right? Your game sense, you can basically strategize a little bit better on your movement. When the zone's right on top of you, I mean, you have these kind of situations occur, right? Can you really anticipate someone moving into you? Just depends.
And you got these people that are good at looting, you know, they're moving out first zone. But let's see all that chaos that happened in the beginning of this game, because we saw more fights happen this game than we did in the previous 2, except Voil cleaning it up. That was Flood going down, Ducky just hiding behind a ramp. Fatch and Pam Stu just cleaned that up. He didn't have anywhere to go. And then obviously the Condo Canyon we've seen It's still going on, but this was happening earlier, and I'm sure more players are rotating into that space right now.
I was just gonna say, Ducky there had a single heavy shotgun. If he would have got something, that would have been huge. Here's Moo, pretty happy. Okay, big smile on his face. We love to see it here. I want to encourage our pro players, you know, opt into those camera shots to make for some real fun moments. Tag your favorite pro players. Who would you like to see their reaction and whatnot? We definitely want to see it. It's one of my favorite pieces of the broadcast for sure.
Yeah, it's a great piece, great addition, you know, because at the end of the day, they're just people, and we're all just people playing the video game. It's nice to throw in those reactions and the awesome moments. Imagine you win one of those reboot rounds or the semi-final matches, and you get to throw yourself out there.
He's so sick. Knifer and Byla almost went and chose them today. This was my first pick coming out of the earlier weeks. Actually, my second FNCS qualifier too. I was saying, hey, you know what? I think these guys got it today. Now in the semis though, second place. All right, 99 points. It's the final stretch here.
Definitely are. One more solid match and they should all but solidify it. I mean, from what we've seen in the previous matches on multiple different regions, let's say 110 or so is safe. So if they're able to pick up about 20 more points, have one more good endgame, even just slay out, get a bunch of elims here. These guys are moving through, and we see them. They're trying to rotate early, get one of those priority positions in these zones as we're pulling full east. This is one of those water zones, water-esque zones that we could see.
Yeah, definitely. And Condo Canyon is going to be the hot real estate right now. This is where everyone wants to be. This is where the Cool Kids Club is. Rokan and Joji have already found their little spot, their little position here on the north side of Condo. On the south side, though, tons of teams. Looks like they're just duking it out. Looks like there's fights possibly unfolding down there. How close those guys are positioned up on top of one another. Keep in mind, as the surge starts to unfold, that's why you'll see teams like that get that close to other teams. It's pretty much a red flag if someone's basing up right next to you with all the, again, other options available. Someone's getting really close to you, well, you know it's about to go down. They're probably looking for a fight sometime soon.
Yeah, and that's why those plateaus that we see over near Condo are quite nice. You can't really base up next to them without getting punished for that position just because of the openness. And now we see a team that was in a position where they might need surge, but obviously felt comfortable. They moved back further away than most players and put themselves in a position where they're well beyond. They're in a good spot. And now we're tuning in with Bank and Unreal in a position where they could qualify if they have two solid matches. They just really need to put themselves in a place to continue. They had one really good game and then a couple of average ones. Now we see another team in a pretty similar position, about able to qualify if we have one more good match, but so is everyone else. And now these guys are behind, just hit the reboot, having to make the rotate. Storm Surge is going to start kicking in a minute, so they have a long rotate to go and not going to be able to get any damage until they jump in.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it is not looking too good for Okus and Yuz right now. Such a long way to go. By the time they get there, I mean, they're going to have to beeline into someone to take a fight, just like Boxer and Convicted are doing right now. I like that they're doing it early. They're not waiting for other players to go down. Instead, they're trying to take this game and, you know, make do, right? Make it work here. This is Dusky and Company. No way. They stand out in the open with Boxer having an angle like that. Those were the tags that he needed here. This is the reason they took the fight.
Now they're out. They got what they needed. Now just going to lurk on the outskirts. Few players on the outside looking in. We see Beef and Nick. Another team in the top 3. I think they fell in 12th last game, so multiple top 15s, pretty consistently making those 8th and 9th zones. So we see them just need a couple of tags here. I wouldn't be too concerned as they can see all those players needing to rotate. Beef is going to be able to grab one, but that's not enough. We need a few more, get the job done. Nick looking for shots as well, but here's the edge of the zone. Okus and Yuz able to make it in. But just because they're in doesn't mean they're safe. Zone is at their back. Storm Surge is on their head. And so is Edgy and Tahi.
Yeah, and so is the rest of the lobby because they're right at Condo Canyon. They can hear all these shots. They're within earshot of this battle going down. Okus goes for the full commit. Remember, they just came out the zone. They had the biggest disadvantage right into Edgy and Tahi. They just get gifted tons of loot, possibly even the vehicle if they didn't explode that too. So, you know, a lot to gain from finding that team there on the outer edge. There goes the feed catching up. Yuz completely eliminated. They're all gone. Here's Keys and Mama Ting up at 8th place currently. Okay, not bad at all, but they're below the surge. This is a very desperate position to be in. Just a few tags separate them from the pressure now. That's a wood box. Maybe thinking about chin checking it. There it is. Nice little tag. Okay.
Got him.
2 damage above.
That's what you want to see if you're Keys and Mamtating, able to get that elim, and Rocane picking, or not elim, that tag I should say, but Rocane picking up 1, and there's another player right in their sights. It's Shark Boy after picking up Lava Girl, and now Rocane and Joji are on the chase. They want this elim. Solos don't last long in these lobbies.
No, definitely not, especially when you get coned up like that. Rocane, cap now. The material count after that one. A little bit of high ground as well to play off of. Launchpad for the reward too. This is big loot. Mind you, Shark Boy and Lava Girl, we saw where they were landing, right? They're landing up at the covert. So pretty clear that they had a struggle of a game here. Big rotate. That's like the far pull for any teams up there. We haven't seen any zones last what maybe 3 weeks, right? FNCS, we haven't seen any zones come this far. This is the first the canyon coming into play.
Yeah, several players were tweeting about that. They were like, how many people have played a condo zone? Well, here it is. Haven't gotten the experience with it. We'll see who's able to think on the fly, able to make those quick reactions. Because ultimately, that's what it is. It's a bunch of reactionary pieces, some proactive, and then finding ways to just be crazy good mechanically. So we see Joji and Rocane able to make that rotate in, but this north side, oh my goodness. There's not going to be anyone on the south side of zone because it's in the water, and everyone is going to be stuck in this little chunk. Maybe you might want to go down to that island, go hang out, kick it.
I'm actually surprised Bila and Knifer pretty much made the right call here. They went coastal early. They decided just, hey, you know what? We're going to play the dead side. Like, super. And now it's working out. Now they get to see everyone coming in. That's a player on Mythics. Okay, yes. So he's sliding on through. These are fresh builds, easy targets, and a Stormline too. So notice the tap fire here. Just trying to bait them in. Making sure if they do expose themselves in full, they have just enough bullets to go and land some extra tags there. These tags are very important too to their position. They may have been very comfortable coming into the early game, but they didn't probably have much opportunity to find more tags afterwards. So these tags are very crucial. Here's Taco and Jackson. Windmill team landing. So they've been south this whole time. And they have the best spot. A little bit of high ground. Dead center right now.
They're currently sitting in 6th place. They've been doing just enough to keep themselves in it. At 84 points, I mean, they're right there. We see Rocane picking up an elim. So they're Rocane and Joji pushing up the leaderboard as well, trying to come for these positions of the top 6. We did see Tahi and Edgy fell once again, so not able to make another endgame. They'll get one last shot to try and win a game, but that consistency is not happening today. Nonetheless, Fabled Taco, Jackson J, having one great performance. They played all right yesterday, but definitely came ready with a game plan and executing so well.
Yeah, definitely. Another team looking to slide up into one of those dominant positions here is Quad Magnolia. They're just hanging out. Zone 4 is going to start coming to a close here soon. The lobby getting sliced up right here. A few players outside the bubble. They're going to have to slide on in. Quad Magnolia get the first issue of the surge warning there. They're 158 damage above. Nothing to worry about there. Rocane and Joji are above as well. Knifer and Bila manage, although, to play the dead side, find tons of tags.
And already we're down below 50, so a nice deep breath for everyone. You know, relax. We're not dealing with that storm surge in 5th zone for once. But a lot of players had to fall for that to happen. We do see Jackson able to get an elimination there. And now Mamtating is a solo all by himself without keys. He was lost on the rotate. Does have the position to be able to just farm out, grab a bunch of space within this building, and just sit there and cross your fingers and hope that zone pulls your way. We see Nosh and Goofy Goobert grabbing some extra loot there. And everyone is on that north side. AV and Enkusu are the only two on that south side, besides a couple of teams all the way on the western half.
Yeah, now that NQ's and company, I mean, look at this. Zone comes their way. It's going south. They're in top 7 here, so this is the spot they want to be in. First dibs on the next rotate. You know, for a moment, we actually had a little bit of silence, a little bit of comfort settling into the world, and now things are getting heated up once again here. Rokane turning on the pressure here. There it is. Another catch for Joji and Rokane, but the punishment coming in this time. It's a duo that's willing to fight back here. Splash doesn't hit Rokane there, so a little missed opportunity, but all that matters for Joji is staying alive here, getting the reset and being prepared for the next rotate.
That was so close. They got the elim, and then everyone starts looking at them. And yeah, you say floppers. Have we seen anyone carrying floppers like this entire time?
We were talking about that last week. We were like, dude, what happened to floppers, man? Where's these heal-offs? We just don't see them very often. And this is a rare occurrence for us. Nick just slides past the enemy there. He's virtually blended into the builds. Doesn't even notice him. You know, you think to yourself, well, why would anyone not be in a box? That was that guy standing behind a wall.
Everyone trying to make this southern rotate here too. We're half in water. We got that island, so if you were able to make that rotate to the beach down below, you would have been in a good spot. You see Joji and Rokane able to make that rotate as well. Where do you think zone's going, Monster?
I mean, the odds are so slim at this point. I think it's going south.
Uh-oh.
Look at this. What a shot. What a beautiful shot. Couple fishing positions there too.
Yeah, everyone's hanging out. They're finding their positions. Does lose Owl there. SMG posed. So Owl posed, cracked. Those guys been fighting off spawn this whole time. But hold on. We got another one.
Charlie and Spegu on the other side of the wall here. Zone pulls west now. Joji and Rokane have not stopped fighting since the moment they entered into the zone 4. They've been battling it out, looking for refreshers and everything in between. Bila and Knifer have the longest rotate in the lobby right now. They have the most difficult task to make here. You have to cross over this wave of players that separate, that are housed up in between them and the new storm, the new safety. It's moving now.
Slacks and Clarity now just trying to hold this high ground. Gonna do a nice cheap rotate here, spending almost no mats. They're gonna dive back though, hit this launch pad. Yeah, saving some materials that helps you. You get to still hold that high ground because nobody's taken it yet. Slacks goes back, reinforces the high ground. They're playing it once again. We haven't seen these two on height thus far, Monster.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. For a second there, I thought, I'm like, Clarity, wait, why? Why would you use your pad now? It's too late, but that was a recycle there, so well played for them. Nick and Beef still up right now, too. They're starting to run low. See if they start approaching this red light here. Will they be able to gas through? We'll find out shortly. Shiesty on the low ground there, sliding his way across. Bila left as a solo now. Lost Knife for 52 damage above the threshold of the Storm Surge, but that's the least of his concerns, as now he has to try to just stay alive here, make this endgame. Joji makes a wrong turn there into the zone. He goes, and it's going to cost him a lot.
Oh man, Bila was able to find a rift. They were left over from the early game. No one took those, and he's just gonna use that for a nice free rotate. Clarity and Slacks really good up top, but some shots starting to come through for them.
They're hyper-focused on what's happening down low. They haven't even looked up once. If they do, I mean, you hear the MK7s, it'll just be shred time out there. Just look at this wide shot here, giving us a great example of how many players are still left up. Qual now making his way up to this next layer here. A little bit of pressure up for Clarity G and Slacks, and it's not free for them by any means. You can see how many teams are starting to look up and put some shots up there. Muzz is going to fall here. Almost makes a big end game. There goes Rokane in the feed, just outside the top 15, just inside the top 15.
And these two looking really good as far as heals go, but those materials are dwindling. They definitely don't have enough to sustain this high ground position. We see Bila somehow still up. Oh my goodness. We talk about solo clutches. He may not have the elims, but he has the placements and the rotates. And as we say that someone's getting in, he holds it off for another second, but just too many players in that area. The contest is coming for high ground right now.
Nexi's going up right now as well. Slacks just lets his guard down here and loses the high ground. Clarity G and Slacks now. What should have been a victory royale ends up with no materials and a new team up above. Wrigley is going to be by himself as well. Only 8 builds. That's a quick block there as the team almost swung their way up and around and looks like they are going to find a success. Oh. It's the box. Wrigley goes. Great tag there to toss to Clarity G. Down to low ground. There goes the finish. That's a 3-point swing. Chug Splash almost enough, but no. Slacks was not going to let him get away with that. It's Moo on height. We already saw Moo's reaction to his last little elim there. He was very, very happy. If we get to see this win moment, it could be everything for the kid as he punches his way to finals, but there is still a tall, tall task in front of them. They have to fight their way through. Magnolia and Qua on the low ground. Slacks here, who is completely positioned up to do some big plays here. He's got the momentum in his sails. Can he do it? Nope. That's a big shot there. 34 HP left. He gets hunted down to the hands of another player, and Qua is also going to get taken out. Uh-oh. This is not looking good for everyone else, but it's looking great for Height.
Yeah, Goofy Goober here cleans this up. They have so many points. If he wins this, that's another spot open. He's going for another elim right in the face there of Vert. Vert holding the wall, trades the tags. Nope. He wins that one. Moo, and then they fall down. Moo and Wanted fall. It's Princess and Ann all the way up. It's a 1v2.
I cannot believe that just happened. It's up to Vert by himself in a 1v2 situation. He does not have any more mats. Vert has to jump down. How in the world did Moo manage to fall there? Princess Wolf and AMT have been struggling at their draw spot day in and day out. Today, though, it just seems like things started to piece together over here. Mind you, we were just talking about how much of a struggle it was for them. They land over at the covert castle, right? They have to cross all the way through.
And now still just putting all this pressure on, but they have no mats. This is just a no mat battle. They trade a little bit. Vert goes down, and it's Princess Wolf and AMT taking it.
Not only that, they get to do it together, hand in hand, as they jump down and in sync hit the big shotgun shot there to win that game out. Vert, my man, almost pulls some big plays out of the pocket there, but just wasn't going to be enough in the end. 7 eliminations, rounding into the 8th for the Victory Royale. Hats off to Princess Wolf and AMT, who stayed patient and played that game exceptionally well, considering they had the longest rotate of anyone else.
Oh, you love to see it. And just taking advantage of unfortunate situations for other people. Sometimes you just look up and Height is falling and you're like, all right, I guess I have to play high ground now if it's just going to be gifted to me. But the thing I liked most about that is they dropped at the same time. A lot of times you see that 2v1 situation, a player gets overzealous, they try and drop down and win the game, play hero ball, and these two perfectly, same time, clean it up and take the dub.
Yeah, definitely. And that was just round number 4 here. We do have another game in front of us. I need to look at the standings, though, so I'm going to send it on over to our guys at the desk. Let's get over there.
All right for a second here. Now, yesterday, okay, we saw that Nets and Spark, you're in 45th position before getting through to finals. Looking at the stats just now before the leaderboard updated itself, all the way down at 49th. Was Princess and AMT. That is crazy. One place off the bottom, and they suddenly project themselves all the way through to final Sundown. This is the thing dreams are made of, my friend.
I mean, it's everything you could want in this type of format. When the Victory Royale will send you through, when your back is against the wall, when there's only 2 games there, you have nothing else to play for. Granted, they had tomorrow to play for, so they would have had some more opportunities, but what a better spot to get it. And when you're able to kind of just know that, like, hey, the victory will put us through here, you're going to sharpen down a little bit, and they made the individual plays, and as
was chilling up on the higher ground, and then all of a sudden the Victory Royale gets stolen right out from under him. But of the day, and it's going to be a Victory Royale for that Victory Royale straight to the finals, and it's going to be their first FNCS finals for them, actually. So that is awesome for them. They have to be ecstatic.
Oh, I mean, it's, you know, you'll be floating on air right now. It's going to be unbelievable knowing that you are there in the finals after such a torrid day 2. Suddenly, you've qualified. Let's take a look at some of the other teams as well. Obviously, we'll have a look at the kind of the leaderboard shortly, where we're going to see really what players and teams need to do to get into finals in those last spots here. Clarity and Slacks, a team that I picked earlier on today, and they actually had a pretty good run there at the end. Slacks there managing to kind of they took high ground so early on. I think that was the problem here, and they just ran out of mats, and that's such a... I mean, Sundat, is this a timing thing here? Is this just kind of a loss of focus for a second? Because going that early, knowing that there's no one else around you, naturally, you're going to fail. You're going to have to come down at some point and engage.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit while we were sitting there on the analyst desk, and it seems like a lot of these players, particularly on NA East, just maybe aren't watching Europe. They're not taking the time to go and see how these games are playing out, because with the exception of one single game that we saw yesterday, it was game number 1 with Janus and Vortex, any team who has taken height in the 50-50 zone in NA East in Europe has not won the game out. You burned through way too many mats, and you saw even that first pull went like island to island across the lake. They had to burn their launch pad and still build all the way up. Like, if you commit to height that early, you better have a full inventory.
Yeah, it's sort of like a meta thing, right? Like, I love to talk about how qualifiers 1 and 2 in that first weekend, we saw like no height take. So yeah, maybe they would have won the game there, but players have adapted. They've realized that these players are running out of mats fast, and they take advantage in that 8th zone, and they just go for it.
Absolutely. Right, let's take a look at this. Let's just set the tone for you guys at home here. We've got 4 games, 4 victory royales, 4 qualifiers. Okay, Naunty and Sprite game 1, game 2, Pledge and Taya. We then had Rise and Ages game 3, and in game 4, out of nowhere, Princess Wolf and AMT go through as well. Those 4 teams qualify. One more place up for grabs in game 5. But the leaderboard, this is where I think it's really exciting right now, because 6 teams from this board go through. Sundown, let's look at the teams that are on the edges here who could go through, because it's very tight at the top, with 6 top teams now all on 3 figures.
Well, we've been so used to coming into this last game seeing a major shakeup because of the match 5 winner going through. With that being said, the 49th place duo won match number 5. So now it looks pretty much the same. Let's take a look immediately. All I care about right now, what's happening at 6 and 7. Fabled Taco and Jackson at 104, and then Av and Enkaz at 98. So a 6-point gap between the crowd, and even then an 8-point gap after that. So those are going to be 2 of our focal point. But anybody who's in that 4th, 5th, and 6th spot right now, Vivid, they still need to have at least a decent game, put some points on the board.
Yeah, definitely just need a couple of points to secure themselves a top 6, but let's not forget, I love to stress the fact that we have a Victory Royale that leads you straight to the finals as well. So any of these teams, right, it's looking a little grim for the top 6, but it's not looking grim in terms of the Victory Royale. Yes, maybe you haven't been playing so well on the day, but you got to take a little bit of inspiration from what just happened in Game 4. 49th place team gets the Victory Royale. It can happen to anybody.
It really can. I mean, what's interesting as well, we talked yesterday about like Donnie and Macwood, Clicks and Day, teams that didn't get the Victory Royale, but just continue just to have, you know, kind of express themselves and show everybody that they are here, they mean business, and they want to go to the finals. They're going to qualify with the points. And even though Nosh's duo hasn't actually got the Victory Royale, they're still sitting pretty and just enjoying themselves out there and putting on a show for us. So whether or not they do get the Victory Royale and open up some spaces, we'll have to wait and see. But this is Game 5, the last opportunity for points, and of determining who those top 6 teams are going through on points, and who the last Game 5 Victory Royale winner is going to be as well. It's over to Monster and SPG for the last time. The last game of the night. Let's do this thing. Over to you.
It's the last game for NA East, as we do have a lot of competition in front of us today. But hey, the train doesn't stop here. You know, there's still a lot of pressure on the line right now. Sundown said it best. Teams in 4th, 5th, and 6th definitely have their work cut out for them. No one is safe just yet. Anyone just inside that top 12 or so, I think, has a real fighter's chance to hop up.
Yeah, no doubt. And we don't know who's going to win this next match. So there could be a free 6th slot that was being held by one of those current top teams. It'll be interesting to see, because this game is about to go crazy. We're seeing a lot of places emptied out. Greasy may go wild once again. Who knows, Monster?
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, if a team like Nosh wins, then, well, that's another slot available for someone. So the battle bus is ready. Let's jump into this last game of NA East.
So we've basically filled, you know, our top 2, maybe let's call it top 3 spots. They've almost all but solidified it. It is this last game that decides the last 3 spots. Is someone going to do something crazy? Are we going to determine our winner at the last moment, like we've seen so many times this weekend? Nosh, Goofy Goober, taking it down one last time here at the Daily Bugle.
Yeah, they took Polarized and Nico's drop spot for a little bit. On over to Smite, though. Smite and Larson here, who for the 3rd or 4th time today have chosen the new drop spot. This time right on top of Shark Boy and Lava Girl there, shutting down the Dreams. That round here. Going back to the old trusty here. Looks like it's a fight for the llama. Is this right? Just outside the loot lake. possibly for the llama split, but
Now it looks like Bank is coming into this area. No, he looked at it. He decided we're getting on out of there. But lots going on in this early game, deciding the last game. People may be switching it up. You know, this is your last desperate chance to qualify today. Granted, we still have 6 more games tomorrow, but if you want to get in today, you don't want to play more Fortnite tomorrow, at least not right at this level. You got to win this match or put yourself up in that top 6. We see Chonkers. It's been contested all day. It's not changing at all in this last match.
yeah, no, it's a pretty big gap, right, from these teams in 11th place. If they want to get all the way on up, 30 points separate them from the competition. So that's 10 elims and outperforming the opponents via placement points, or, you know, just tons of placement. Basically, they're really just praying for the downfall of any of those teams holding those top positions. But it's not completely over just yet as Owl gets turned on here. Big tags come through. Opposing Cooper really going to need to finish this one up quickly here before the backup comes in. Backup's on the way, and no, Post just gonna do it. Owl, a little bit sharper here today.
Wow. Okay, I was not expecting that to happen. Well played by Owl right there. You can't ask for better than that. A little support from Cracked coming in from the side, but man, 2 elims off the start. If you're trying to crawl back into this, just drop, you know, a 30 elim game to qualify. It's possible. We've seen 15 happen.
Nope, just go win. That's it. Just go. A 30 elim, highly unlikely.
Hey,
Just gotta just win, man.
you gotta give the guys hope, right? But we're seeing a couple of players going for this boat over here. First action we've seen with Zenki and Ducky on the boat, just tagging up the SMG squad. They must have literally no builds to just be sitting there getting shot at.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Seems like they made a mistake. They thought, oh, look, just spawned on our side. Let's go and play after it. But it's one of those flex drops right there. You got to be careful, Zenki and Ducky, in claiming it today. It's the first points on the board. First big points for them, at least. As they pick up their first elim. Not bad. But again, this is the last game. So, you know, for all these teams you're watching on screen right now, all that matters is that victory royale, these early game fights, are just, you know, ways for them to find Surge, honestly. If that even becomes a factor here, which it should, right? Because all these guys have a true chance.
Oh, no doubt. At some point, Surge will be a factor. We're seeing some plays right on the zip line. Noisy able to win that one. Dayfan getting sent back to the lobby. Now it's a little 2v1 to clean this up. Can last place Curse and Noisy find J-Man on the way out. J-Man's doing his best left foot, right foot escape. But is it going to work? It looks like he's going to be able to get out of here for a second. Don't know that this will last.
Yeah, puts a little stop here onto last place Curse. So unfortunately, though, he is starting to run out of space here. Oh, he tries to fake him out. He's underneath the ledge there. Does he reveal himself? Yes, he does. Out he goes. Now last place recognizes exactly what's going on. That might have been the big mistake there. I think he should have just gotten out when he had the chance.
It's a smart play.
You can't actually eliminate him. There is the only way is basically you need like a clinger, or you know what I mean. You need some way to get an explosive or something underneath the build. Maybe a gas canister, you throw it in. You know, like very few ways to eliminate him at this point.
Yeah, and he's gonna have to move at some point. He's probably gonna want to get his boy's card to get him back up. And Noisy will just sit here and wait. I mean, look at the loadout. That tells me I'm fine. I'll take some shots. J-Man gonna get on out of there, but oh, Smite Larson getting in another fight here. This is what they're known for at this FNCS, just taking all these fights.
Yeah, at this point, you know what? They've played such an aggressive game since the beginning. You know, I'm sure it's going well for their careers at this point, and a lot of people giving them a lot of respect right now, and you kind of have to at this point. They've proven what they can do. I'm super curious. Like, if they don't end up winning this round and qualifying tomorrow, if they play it nice and easy and show us what they got in the placement compartment. It is pretty exciting seeing what teams like this can do once they make it all the way through to the end. It's pretty clear that Larson's got what it takes. Just take a look at the mechanics right now. Very, very clean elimination onto Shiesty right there.
Able to clean that one up too, and now I'm gonna try and chase down this last elim if they're able to get it. Looks like Rhythm's gonna jump in the car. Oh, they got it. They're diving on this if they have any kind of movement, but I don't think they do. And Rhythm's gonna squeak out of there with very little HP.
I was ready for them to punch in those headshots right there. Ding, ding, ding. And wrap.
Nonetheless, they'll have to find some other players to go take a fight with because Rhythm, he's not about it right now. He's walking on out of here trying to find a little reboot action for his teammate. If he was even able to grab the card. Now we're checking out Joji and Rokane, one of those teams on the outside looking in. And we'll fly through for you. Projected qualification is going to be about 125 points.
Whoa.
Which is pretty high compared to what we've seen in some other regions and days.
Yeah, but it makes sense, right? When 4th, 5th, and 6th are around 110, 115, players like Rokane, right? You're gonna need a really big game. You're gonna need a really big game. You're gonna have to make it all the way through to the end. Slash and Clarity G in that same boat, as is AV and NQs. These are the teams that we're hoping just pop off right now.
The toughest part about this too is, one, you need to hope that all of the top 6 don't make it through the end of the game. Really, 4 through 6 don't make it to end game. And then you have to hope that you do more than the other teams in those similar positions. That 3 box that we just saw with all 3 teams, all of those guys have the ability to pop off, have like a 10+ elimination game, and it doesn't matter what you do. If you're putting up 10 elims, that's 30 points right there. That's shooting you into that top 6.
It's definitely possible as well. AV playing this Rocky Reels. So once again, we're seeing this desert biome come into play here. This is a zone that's pushing back this way. We haven't gotten a full shot of the map just yet, right? Things are still setting up here, but you can see everyone's coming south. They're thinking, repeat performance possibly from the last game. What were the mistakes there? Maybe not getting there soon enough. Maybe not having one of those little mountains, claiming a canyon.
That's a good point. Sometimes you under-rotate expecting zone to bounce back, and really just all inning like we saw from Knifer and Byla in that last game would have worked out in your favor. Now we see Slacks and Clarity getting beamed up from so many different angles. It's not exactly where you want to be. This is a terrible position in a valley between multiple players. This is not what we want.
Let's take a look here. New zone reveals, and it is coming south once again here. Oh no. Condo Canyon, Risky Reels, the entire desert biome. This is a repeat. Now, mind you, the desert biome in particular is one of the more, high ground, low ground type zones, right? There's a lot of dips. You got to get there early. If you're playing this outskirt, man, like we said, they got a small taste of what happened last round for rotating late. A lot of those teams were punished.
The tallest piece in that southern map is right to the north of Chonkers. There's that weird looking hill that looks like an ice cream cone or an upside down triangle, which Zone has a tendency to pull up and down those massive mountains. We see all these plateaus. Jackson giving us a little bit of a perspective, but you have to get through this open area that these players are trying to hold from. Man, if we get one of those plateau zones where it goes up just a flat cliff face, that's going to be a tough rotate for anybody.
And at this point, anything's possible. It's all on the table. Jackson and Taco. Can't believe we kind of started our journey with them. FNCS qualifier week number 1, day 1. One of the first engagements we watched go down over at the windmill. They've been duking it out ever since. Day after day, day in and day out. Haven't dropped an appearance just yet. Here's Keys. The other side already here nice and early. So a lot of our top teams, a lot of our veterans in position.
That's where you need to be in this last game. You know that the stakes are high, and the experience is what gets you here. It's what allows you to be one of those top players, is understanding those positions. And one of these other teams, right in that position to put themselves into finals with one last match is going to be Beef and Nick. Wow, all of these guys are so high in points and so close too. Like, this is going to come down to the last moments. I know we've seen it in multiple different regions, multiple different days, but there's no way this gets decided before that final elim.
It's those little shots right there. Those shots that you miss right there when Surge is giving you the warning that gonna make you second guess yourself here. 44 above the Surge. Things have really slowed down. 82 players remaining in the lobby. Things started really quickly. I thought we were in for, you know, one of those fast rounds where the lobby cuts down, but they said, no, no, no. We understand. We can win.
Yeah, all these players, they were getting in those fights early. It was chaos. I mean, all those early game fights, like you mentioned. But now it's the deep breath for the final song.
Ooh, Avery tagged up big time down low it. Muzz right there. Rokane just playing the bush here, trying to keep a little element of surprise in front of him, and no tags for him either. Luckily, they're not as in a desperate situation as some others might be here, as they're 260 above, but it's not going to last you forever. Not for the full duration of the game. You are going to need to continue to get active. J-Man and Dayfan do just enough here on this northwest portion of the zone here. Few teams still outside the zone, though. Plenty of opportunity. Out comes the box fight here. On to Muzz and Avery. They're below again.
This is not a team I want to have to fight for Surge. If I'm running into Muzz and Avery for my Surge fight, I'm not in a good position. These guys understand why this fight's about to happen. They're not getting pushed for no reason. They know just hold this out, chip away at them, and Storm Surge will do the work. Build some space, allow yourself to get some tags in the meantime. Yeah, just these little peek shots, taking the side shot. Not connecting just yet, but eventually they're going to start taking Storm Surge damage, and then you just win this engagement by default.
There it is. Shot in the back there. J-Man loses all of his shield. Things are going to start to slow down now. Muzz and Avery have a decision to make. Do they push on in and take advantage? Have they realized what just went down? I think they do recognize the defensive stance that J-Man has put himself in. They surely understand this is a Surge battle here at this point. Great tag right there. Surge just finishes up J-Man. He gets straight taken out the lobby there. Whoever did the last damage managed to finish it. It's actually Rhythm and Shiesty who jump on in. Muzz and Avery granted with an elimination there. As things unfolded so quickly. Reciprocal and 20 just barely above the Surge, not inside the safety of this next zone that just revealed itself, but very easy rotate for them. It's pulling towards the Chonkers, so no one in the Condo Canyon is safe either. And that's where I would say the bulk of the players are, right? Judging by the last game, they're thinking, oh, it's going right back this way. And no, that's not the case. This time, a little bit of Buga's drop spot in play right now. It's the Chonkers.
Now checking out some of these fights that happened. Rhythm was down below. That's why they jumped in and third-partied this fight. You know, they won for a second, but ultimately it cost Milks. He goes back and gets sent back to the lobby. Unfortunately, it's going to be all up to that solo trying to make plays there. Reciprocal and 20, though, in a good spot. They're the only player in the southern quadrant of this zone.
Not for long, though. Others are on the move here. Rokane and Joji back onto them right now, getting targeted inside the vehicle. NQ's and AV as well to give up their mount. And they had a vehicle up. Okay, so they actually were very much prepared, more prepared than anyone else in the lobby. Although they had the plateau, they also had the car sitting up there fully boxed up.
Look at that.
They managed to use that to get off of it and straight into the new safety of the storm now.
What good rotate. Will bring cars up to a plateau. Rokane, Joji able to make their way into zone though. 2 elims all together. We just saw that shot. Looks like literally all the teams from 4 to 12 are still up at them, fighting for these final spots. So don't go anywhere. We got some action for you. It's coming. We're just building. These players are letting us relax before they go crazy on us and just break it down.
Yeah, this is what we're here for, celebrating the best of the best. I mean, I could kick back and watch high-tier competitive Fortnite all day long. Watching these players base up, go position to position. This is what really excites me, honestly. These are the players that are fighting for it right now. Legacies, stories, history being written right before our eyes.
Speaking of legacies, Dubs getting an elim there on the Pam Stew. An old legacy versus a new one created over the past few months. Let's call it a year from Pam Stew. Fatch, obviously, his teammate. Much longer legacy going all the way back to World Cup days. AV trying to find some shots here. That player just getting absolutely tagged up by the entire lobby. Welcome to the lobby, Focus. It's fun, just not for you.
That's a tough spot to be in. He's right at the top of this mountain, guys. He's going to have sight lines from not only the players firing in right now, but you can see just to their south, that team that's firing into the box. So a couple people lining them up. Little marker comes out from AV. Recognizes there's a threat up above. That's the highest position anyone can be on right now. Do wonder, how did they get up there? It's Muzz and Avery with the wide rotate. Okay, so now down they come. Oh, Avery takes a lot of fall damage here, slips through the build. Muzz targeted on the way down. That's a white tag.
That is a tough rotate to waterfall down, protected. A game you're gonna play, and Muzz and Avery got put in a new position right there.
200 damage above the surge.
Peak, they're shooting at this and just praying for some tags at this point, because everything is covered up. All these players are just holding builds, and now they're getting shot at themselves.
And honestly, you know, the play here is don't let any of these builds get comfortable, right? Once those heavy mats start to come out, you give it too much time, that's it. Their chances at elims are going to just slowly dwindle away here. And this is why AV has been keeping up the pressure on the players across the way there. That was Dubs and Mega to go down first. Creo ends up securing the elimination there. For Taco, this is so bad. 106 points, holding on to top 6, below the surge here by 165, digging into what little heals he has left, and he has pulled half in and half out. Can he wait this out? Will he find some tags? Players are getting knocked, but those are not finishes. Team reveals himself in front of him into the box. It's a side little angle here, and they might have just gotten the tags that he needed. 3 damage above. There is no way that just happened. No way he is this lucky right now.
It may be luck for the moment, but I don't know if that'll continue.
He's back below now.
They've saved everything for this, and they just have to push in, getting tagged, getting pre-fired as the builds break. They do have a knock in there. Jackson's going to be able to get that. And once again, they have a breath. They're able to get above. That's on Glace. He goes down. Fable Taco gets knocked out. It's all up to Jackson. Our 6th place team has 50 HP as a solo, trying to make it through this final match.
Not only that, he got the shotgun shot right as the surge would have completely eliminated Taco. There was a small chance there, a slither of hope that he could have gotten the pickup there, but it's not going to be enough. Glace and Chucky managed to finish that one up, and now pressure is all on Jackson here as he has to finish this game out by himself there. AV and NQs slips their way on up. Another placement now, top 7 here. 4 chug splashes, almost out of complete material here. And ammunition, there goes the split. Okay, so at least he has some SMG to work with. NQs might have dropped a little too much there, though. Hopefully the split's gonna come out afterwards. Oh no, he's just got double AR. What am I talking about?
Yeah, he doesn't need that SMG ammo. We do see both 6 and 7, as bad as it looked at the time, somehow narrowly escape that storm surge. And now live to fight another zone, but we do see zone pulling in their favor. Creo and Vert right on this wall, though. They know these guys are in these boxes. Gonna give it up after one quick little wall take attempt. Enkus and AV now make their rotate.
Here it is on high ground, though. Roque makes his way all the way across here. Has to be very careful. There's a zip line in play. That will destroy and bulldoze players right through your box. There goes the max cap off here. They want to that high HP. I was just talking about it, and players are taking a zip line into the box. They go. Joji gets chunked in the meantime. Jackson still alive right now. Barely alive. 144 damage. Separates him from the safety. 10 players have to go down. There's an enemy in the box. He's gonna need it, but no, he gets taken out. And now 6th place could be up for grabs here. Rokane and Joji have a true opportunity now to go ahead and snipe that position, make their way to finals, not have to show up for a Sunday.
They're below on, or they're behind on the Storm though. They're on the backside, able to make it in zone with only a few maps remaining. So if zone pulls far, they're going to be in a poor spot, but it looks like it's going right towards Chonkers. They're going to be able to get this and just use some old builds. The refresh is necessary to extend though. 8th place is not good enough. We see Dusky up above. They're trying to play for the win. It doesn't matter for them up at 11th. They want the dub or they're going home. And then so many players in this mid ground. They're only playing on about 4 or 5 layers here, Monster.
This is it. You have to get the Victory Royale or you are getting yourself sent back to the lobby and queued up for tomorrow, Sunday, for 6 full games. Teams that we know have made it probably all the way through here. Yep, I saw Beef and Nick. They've made another end game. I saw Bila and Knifer there. They're comfortable. 20 down to the low ground in 5th place, so has to be careful. They're probably going to need a little bit more, and he's going down right now to the Storm there. He just barely makes it in with a slither of HP. On your screen, though, Joji and Rokane still fighting their way through. 108 points. Slacks and Clarity trying to do their best as well. Avery falls in the backside of zone. His chances are up. That's Raps now. Dusky here on high ground. Can he get this Victory Royale? Was there still a chance for them to make it all the way in? They have 30 builds here onto user. That's not bad by any means, but that's still not the perfect spot to be in.
And we do see Goofy Goober still up, so he's stealing points away, which actually does help some of the lower teams make it up there. We did see 6 fall, so there is opportunity. Clarity and Slacks, one of those teams jumping in, have very few builds. Down goes Slacks. It's all up to Clarity. Can you clutch up and make a play here? He finds another duo. That's not the door to knock on. He walks away. He finds himself alive still, and there's the truck play with the rotate.
Whoa.
No, what a play. He gets a knock, but he needs to get in Storm.
This is huge right now. Clarity just made a ridiculous play with the truck here, and now he's fighting for the siphon. That's 3 points. 3 points that he's going to need here. Another solo behind the wall as well. These Freshwood builds are definitely the sight that he is looking for here. He wants to go right through this. He's looking for that knock. He does not find it. The player's to his side here. He didn't realize he jumped right across, and no, he goes down. It's to the hands of Joji. Joji was still alive there. Joji is still fighting for this. From 8th place on up to top 5 now. Joji is still clawing his way into this competition on high ground. Everything is breaking loose. Glace and Chucky are up here. Solo dolo. Actually, there is no Glace. It's just Chucky. He's on high ground. He wants to win this. And it's looking like a near solo competition here. There are only 1 duo remaining here. There is only 1 duo.
And the 1 duo is going to go down soon. But Goofy Goober goes down. Joji has seemed to do enough, but now everyone else is still trying to make their plays. If he can win this opens another slot. Reciprocal down on the low ground. Big shots there by Joji. Now he's going to have to jump in. No, stopped with the wall. Big shots coming through once again. He gets the elim. There it is. Joji cleaning it up. Let's call it 5 for him. Now Baka up on the high ground, smacked. Jeff going in the mid-game ground. Head-to-head monster.
It's all solos right now. Joji here playing this low ground right now. He's just got a couple of builds to work with. On high ground is still Chucky looking on in. Casker lurking on the layer in between that. He's starting to fire his way on down. Knock, knock. Here he comes. He slips on off the builds. Jeff goes down, smacks over. Low ground peak here. 59, 31 tag. Low ground again. Joji only has 25 HP, 74 tag. He might have just did enough for Jeff to actually steal this way away. It's all going to come down to this last shot right here. Striker shotgun is not going to be enough. The low ground shots from Jeff managed to clutch it out in that end game. It's all ones though.
Solos for days in that end game. Everyone was trying to make their last play and go after it for the Victory Royale. I mean, you gotta respect that attempt by Baka, but ultimately, Jeff able to hold down the low ground and just say, give me that, I'm going to finals.
Man, look at the shots right there. Jeff wraps up. Smacked, finds Joji, gets glazed, the 3-piece chicken nugget to close things out, rounding him up for a couple more eliminations there. Jeff and Plague out of nowhere jump way up to the top. Shout out to Fusion Jeff and Matrix Plague Man. Well played there, taking home a victory in the last stage there of the semifinals. What a day.
What a day indeed. I mean, every game was action-packed, and this last one, I mean, how many solos can you throw in a duo game? Someone's got to make it there, but man, what a game, and I don't even know who our top 6 are. That's going to be so close.
Yeah, we definitely saw some clutches there. Well, from us here at the desk, Monster D-Face and SVG, we'll be seeing you guys soon. Tomorrow's another day of finals, not all over just yet. Let's get on over to the desk. Bring us on home, guys.
Fellas, we could not have asked for a better way to finish out day 2 here with 4 solos going head-to-head for the last place in finals. We thought it was going to be Rogue K, and he was on a rampage there. Well, I think it was 7 eliminations, and we thought, you know, I'm sure a lot of teams are watching with very kind of, I guess, very excited eyes there. Maybe a place would open up with them qualifying and someone else can snip into the top 6 there, but didn't happen. Jeff and Play coming through a day 2 qualifying team. Our first one so far, getting the Victory Royale. Sundown, they've done it. They're going through the finals.
Yeah, and this finish was very interesting because, as you noted, we were keeping an eye on that bottom left-hand corner, and you kept seeing, as the casters called, that number creep up. They're already into the top 5, so at that point, even though they were only a solo running through, Joji was able to pick up a ton of additional points, which took them away from everyone else. And that made it so whoever won this game of solos at the end got a ticket to the finals. And the Vivid, Joji just played extra spoiler here.
Yeah, I mean, Joji did do it all right there, and I love this, right? Day 2 of these semifinals, we're seeing so many more solo v solo v solos in these end games, right? We hardly saw any of that in day number 1, obviously, except for Peterbot at the end, right? But that just means that this competition, as these lobbies start to dwindle down and the more players get added, the competition is actually getting tighter because these duos can no longer survive as 2. They're getting pressured way too hard by the competition in the rest of the lobby, and we're getting only solos left, which means that we are in for a show on day 3, and I can't wait for it. But props to that team there picking up that victory rap from their low ground. Well played.
Yeah, well played indeed. I mean, let's take one more look here at what happened in the end game there of game number 5, because it was so epic in so many ways here. I mean, so now, as Vivid said, you know, 4 solo players, we haven't seen much of it at all, and suddenly it's all there on a plate for us in the last game of the day for NAE, and it's been, I mean, we couldn't have asked for much more.
And I love the play by Fusion Jeff Plays here because he went down, and notice how he went down. He still had 18 builds. He didn't have to commit to the lower layer, but he took a peek and realized that nobody else had gone, recognizing they didn't have the materials. So if you have mats and you go early, what are they going to do? They just jump down on top of him. He's able to pick up not only the eliminations, but the Victory Royale, which was his only way through to the finals.
Oh man, absolutely phenomenal way to clutch it out, right? Like we talked about it last game, game number 4, a player in the 49th position on leaderboard comes up and clutches up, and then again, you know, we see Jeff here not in contention for that top 6, but it doesn't matter. That Victor Royale is on the line. He clutches up. He does it for Plague, his duo there, and they got to be so excited. We'll see those boys in the finals.
He will indeed. Right, there you have it, guys. This is the top 5 teams that have qualified via the Victory Royale. You can see Nounty and Sprite in Game 1. All that time ago in Game 1. Game 2, Pledge and Teo. Then Rise and Aegis in Game 3. Princess Wolf and AMT in Game 4. And then we have Jeff and Play going through in Game 5. GG to all the 5 teams getting the Victory Royale today. But we're all biting at the bit to find out exactly which teams are going through the top 6 positions. And there we have it. Sundown, Nosh and Goober remain on top. But things have shuffled in the pack. And there's our top 6.
Yeah, you can see there C9 Nosh, 33 Goofy Goober, followed by Beef and Nick, the French Canadians, Matrix 20, and then Reciprocal right after that. Then you have Fusion Joji, 33 Rokane, Knifer and Matrix Byla, and then in the final spot, Qua and 33 Magnolia Vivid.
I love to see Twanty and Reciprocal up there, man. They fought so hard throughout day 1 and day 2 up there at that split drop in the northwestern region of the map. We always saw the action going down between them and who was contesting them, and they were just winning out so many times, but they can never really find themselves a consistent way up the leaderboard, and today they have done it, so that is awesome. A contested team finding their way through, and Slacks and Clarity hugging on to that 9th place position down there, unfortunately not making it, but that's kind of a good position to be when you think about it, right? We're going into day number 3 tomorrow. If you were 9th tomorrow amongst these teams, you kind of like bump yourself up to like 3rd tomorrow, right? Because those top 6 teams are no longer in it tomorrow.
That's true. And, you know, even though some of these teams like Clarity and Slacks didn't make it through, I mean, big shout out there for entertaining the fans at home. The truck play was out of this world. I mean, we were all like living in the moment on that. What was that? It was brilliant. That's what it was. Thank you, Vivid, with the class. I love that. Let's look at our predictions from earlier on today and see exactly how we fared and how we got on. Has Vivid continued his winning ways? He has. It's unbelievable. It's ridiculous, Vivid. Slacks and Clary, my duo there, didn't quite make it, but Vivid, yours did. I mean, game 3, it was just a, it was a whitewash. It was a superb cakewalk for these guys. Went all the way and qualified in game 3.
Yeah, I love the fact that they did it through a Victory Royale as well. I talked about how I thought that they were going to do it through a Victory Royale because I figured they were going to be contested all day, but Sprite and Nounsy with an early qualification through that Victory Royale, so they actually had greasy grip to themselves, and still, they ended up getting off spawn. They did get contested a little bit in Game 2, but they found themselves some solid ground in Game 3 and just rode it to a Victory Royale.
Yeah, and then looking over at Monster Deface and SPG, they also predicted correct trios. No, we're not going to look at that one. We go to the next one. It's fine. We'll talk about it maybe tomorrow. We'll have that story then. But hey, congrats, Monster Deface, SPG. Good job on the qual on the 33 Magnolia pick, as well as the FS Joji and 33 Rokane. I mean, it seems like we batted okay here on NAE, so we'll just ignore my prediction and my broken clock going through there, and we'll keep it moving.
Tick-tock.
Man, we behind the scenes here, guys, are just like saying to Sundown, they're going to do it eventually. They're going to do it. All rooting for it.
Eventually.
I think it's four different times now. Pam in fact, it's not. But hopefully, maybe it'll happen tomorrow, Sunday, on our day 3 of our semi-finals. Thank you guys so much for watching NAE. Of course, you have FNCS NA West coming your way very shortly with Kelly and Co, bringing you all the action from that region. Big thanks to Monster and SBG on the casting. It was unbelievable. As always, loving it, Sundown. Loving it, Vivid. You guys have been great. Thank you for the company. Thank you guys at home for the company as well. We are back tomorrow with our last 12 teams hoping to qualify for finals. It is all to play for. Do not miss it. Don't be silly. Be back here tomorrow for more NAE. But enjoy NA West coming away shortly. Until then, we'll see ya. Take care. Bye-bye for now.
Beep, beep.